Good morning. I'm waiting to see Mr. Trout come in, so we'll get started as soon as I've got everybody in. Mr. Sherman, are you expecting your clients?
No, Your Honor. I was just going to appear for them today.
Okay, all right. He's logging in. Miss Kincaid's logging in.
We've got an agreement, Judge. I think they just didn't have time to modify the order to reflect our agreement.
Okay.
Morning, Rich.
Okay, Mr. Trout, um, Mr. Terman is telling me that he thinks you all have an agreement. Um, I don't know who you need brought in. Are you looking?
Ashley Delgado's on this one, Your Honor.
Okay. And Ms. Zuniga, is she the super, is she, let's see, she may be here for something else.
Yeah, she's a supervisor on, I think, the Gruder case.
Okay.
And she may be standing in, or Kathy, I'm not sure, they're different. I think some of them are in training, so I'm not sure which supervisor will be standing in today.
Okay, Ms. Kincaid shows she's joining, but she hasn't connected through yet. So, and then, she just fell out, so I think she's obviously having a problem waiting, trying to get her logged in.
Yes, ma'am.
Then, it's just a question of do you want to do some kind of announcement, or y'all want to just submit an order? What do you want to do?
Either way the court wants it, Mr. Turner's great. I heard him say that we had an agreement. We just hadn't had time to get the order done, and that's where we are. We're going to do, so Melody Zuniga is sitting in on this one, Your Honor.
She is.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We originally had it as a PMC PC. Mr. Terman wanted and his clients wanted a JMC. And so we're agreeing to that. We just have to redo that order.
Okay. So it's up to you. I can call it and you can announce the agreement if you want. We're all here.
That's fine, Your Honor. We'll do that. And then
And Judge, there is one minor issue I need to bring up, probably just regarding the situation. So yeah, if we could do that.
Okay. Let's just, I want to make sure I've got Ms. Kincaid connected.
I am, Judge. I'm not sure what happened. I got kicked out and I'm back, so
Okay.
I'm here.
Yeah, it was like it was just spooling like you weren't connecting through. So, okay, but we got you now. We're here set for our adversary hearing today. We're conducting this hearing through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We're live streaming on YouTube, and I am recording to the Zoom cloud this morning. I don't have a reporter. Okay, Mr. Trout?
yes, Your Honor. The parties have agreed to a joint managing conservatorship with the parents. This was a wrapper case. So we'll agree to joint managing conservatorship. No child support or medical supports being asked for at this time. And for the child to stay in care and parents to work services.
Is she still in Levelland?
Actually, yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me just ask Ms. Delgado briefly, since I've got you here, how's she doing?
Okay. She's confused about the whole situation. I mean, she's doing relatively okay under the circumstances.
What is she confused about?
Her words were, I know it was my choice, but I did not think it would result in this.
Okay.
So I guess her reasoning for being at the RTC. But it was either that or a group home in Houston. And we felt that it was more appropriate for her to be closer to home than across the state when it came to therapy and contact with her family. So we chose the closer avenue rather than 12 hours away, which resulted in an RTC.
Okay. Have we started any kind of therapeutic visitation with parents, or is she still refusing contact?
She started therapy, individual therapy. She's had one session. She is, they're about to start therapeutic visitations because she wants somebody else there when she does have contact with her parents.
And I think, I mean, sounds like that's what we need to be doing anyway.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're gonna get started on that.
Yes.
Okay. Our parents gonna be able to go and be there personally?
Yes. Michaela, her sibling was placed there at one point and they would go and visit with her there.
All right, then, Mr. Terman, sound like your agreement, and then you have some issue.
That's right, Judge. We do agree. The issue I need to bring up is, frankly, I don't know this woman's full name. She goes by Edie. She's Alve's friend's mom, with whom Alve initially stayed when she was released from hospital. Alve, as I understand it, is requesting to have communication or contact with this woman. My clients are very fearful that this woman is sort of throwing jet fuel on fire and not really helping. So we would like no contact with this woman, at least for now.
All right, do we have some evidence of what's going on there, Ms. Delgado?
She has been an influence. I don't have any proof that it's been negative or even really truly positive. She did ask to have her put on the phone on her contact list, but in a joint conversation with the St. Francis worker, Tasia McIntyre, and myself, we said no initially. But she has been very persistent with myself and with Tasia as far as trying to get contact and having notes written to her and given to her, which I don't know what the note said. That would Tasia knew that one. So I'm not for sure. I don't have any concrete evidence, but I do understand Miss Ellery and Mr. Ellery's hesitation with Irasima.
Okay,
And you're
in
right.
the waiting room, I'm bringing her in.
And you're kind of cut out a little bit. If Mr. Terman, again, who is this woman?
She is the mother of Alve's best friend that she went to live with, or went to stay with when she was discharged from hospital for a few days. It's where the outcry happened. My people feel like she's largely responsible for a lot of this. And again, admittedly, a lot of it's conjecture, but I think it's conjecture with some foundation.
Okay, Ms. McIntyre, we're obviously discussing whether whether LA could have any contact with his friend's mother. What's your knowledge about this?
I've discussed with Ashley to quite extent. This lady has come to my office twice, gave everybody an earlobe that would listen. She brought up cards for Alave as well, called me. It's almost like she doesn't stop. Even after I told her that I don't have the case until after the adversary, that she need to reach out to the investigator, she still continued to come up to my office and give anybody an earful that would listen.
Okay. Well, I think while we're engaging, in initial therapy sessions with the child and starting therapeutic with parents, I think it's probably, it's an unnecessary contact. And I mean, I think you all can pass that along to Alave, that the judge said it's an unnecessary contact right now. What we really want to focus on is her and the things that led up to this, and then her relationship with her parents and her sister. Those are necessary contacts. What I don't want is for Alave to be mad at her parents because they're the ones saying no contact with this woman. That may just, Mr. Terman, to borrow your words, I mean, it may pour gas on the fire there, but I don't see that probably that's a necessary contact for the child to have right now. If she wants to write letters that go through Ms. Delgado, to this person, I guess that's one thing. But she's got to understand those are going to be read by someone. If that helps her vent or whatever, but it's a little, her level of involvement is a little concerning. So, okay. So that's my decision. That's not Mr. or Ms. Ellery's decision today as far as Alve's concerned. Okay, anybody have anything else?
Just a logistics question, sort of for Daniel. Judge, I requested a hearing for Michaela regarding the safety plan flowing from all of this. Rachel said that she had tomorrow open. I responded back that I could do that. I talked to Stacy yesterday, and Stacy said she thought that she could. I'm just wondering if Daniel saw that email.
Yeah,
Y'all
I'm
are
good. I was just in mediation. I just didn't get that answer too, but yes, I'm good for a hearing tomorrow.
Okay, wonderful. Then I guess that's all I need.
Tasia, I'll be in touch with you, but I'll get you a link. We'll do a hearing tomorrow on Michaela's case.
Sounds great, Daniel. Your Honor, I would like to say I did have that conversation with Alave yesterday that we would speak about the contact in court today, and she was not upset. She understands she needs to work in therapy, and she understands the primary goal, and this is family reunification, and that needs to be her priority. So during our phone call, she did understand. So I just would like everybody to know that as well.
Okay.
I'll pass that along to my clients as well.
And I told them last night, Ryan,
Oh,
when I
great.
went to their house. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Mrs. Kincaid?
Your Honor, I agree. I put in a call to her caseworker. I hadn't heard back from him yet, but I'm in agreement.
Okay. All right, then. I'm trying to remember when we had the sibling. Did we have CASA involved?
No, Judge.
I don't think so.
Anybody see benefit in that?
I think it could be helpful just to have another, another person that she can reach out to. I know in some of these rapper cases, it's nice for them that they can sometimes advocate for her or actually physically go see her more often than some of us can.
All right, we'll see if they've got someone available that we could assign to the case. I mean, at 15, I always, it's just an age where I think it's sometimes is real beneficial for the kids. So we'll reach out to CASA and see if we can't get an advocate assigned to her.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then. Yes, ma'am.
If they can't assign an advocate, we can ask for a mentor through Amarillo Angels.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'll let everybody know what we find out from CASA, and then we can go from there. All right, then. I do find the evidence is sufficient to name the department and Rebecca and Benjamin Ellery as joint managing conservators of the child. Will not order any child support or medical support at this time. Expect parents will work services. I'm not going to permit the contact right now as requested by the child with this friend's mother. Approve the visitation that we've got lined out and what we're going to start doing. So, okay. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Our next hearing, the status hearing, will be on November 19th of 2024 on a 9:00 docket.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Thanks, everybody.
we'll let everybody know about CASA.
Yes, ma'am. Hey,
Thanks.
Ryan, will you email me
Yeah,
that
just
lady's name?
Yeah, I will. It'll be a bit, but I will email it over to you.
That's fine. I appreciate it.
We're here today on a status hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom. We are live streaming, and Ms. Goodman is making our record this morning. All right, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Trout for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Tasia McIntyre is my permanency specialist. We're present, ready to go.
Ryan Turman on behalf of respondent parents, Ben and Rebecca Ellery. I'm present along with Ms. Ellery. Mr. Ellery, I believe, is at work this morning.
Sorry, Judge, I went to go get coffee. I apologize for that.
It's okay. You were on this case at 9:30 instead of just something else at 10, so I went ahead and brought you in.
Okay. I represent the child. I'm present. She wanted to be here, so I don't see her here, but I'm ready.
Melissa Limas with CASA.
All right.
And I'm sorry, I thought I was on this, but maybe I'm not.
You are.
Okay.
I think you were just appointed.
Yeah, I thought I was appointed for the child. Am I wrong?
Yes, Judge,
Okay.
if I can.
Ms. Kincaid is the attorney ad litem, and Ms. Riley, you've been appointed as the guardian ad litem.
Got it. Sorry.
Yeah. So
So
we've got.
Tracy Riley, and I'm here, judge and present, ready to proceed.
All right. So we've got a couple of issues, folks, with the case, and I know Ms. Katie has attempted to get a reset date, but I've called this. I want to treat it as a call and recess because the child does want to speak with me. I have absolutely no time today on my docket that I can do that. And also, Ms. Riley was just appointed and I'm sure has not had any opportunity to speak with her client. So I don't know what recess dates we've got tossed out. Ms. Katie, what have we attempted?
Well, I attempted several days the week of December 2nd, but that appears to be a not good week for everyone. So we might have to go into the week of December the 9th.
So give us a date and time, and let's let everybody check it.
Yeah, I'm looking because that week's pretty bogged down too.
Okay.
And I'll just tell you, Rachel, I'm back on my other commitment docket next month. So Monday the 9th and Thursday the 12th are completely gone for me.
Okay. What about the afternoon of the 11th?
That's open for me.
I can do it that afternoon, Judge. I may have to just appear via phone because I'll be driving to Hutchinson County.
And that's fine.
And I may be able to do it, but I'll get Melinda to help me out with that one, Your Honor. On that date, I've got a prior commitment on that day and Thursday.
I'm fine.
All right, so December 11th.
You do have a final that morning in Bailey or Palmer County. So do you want to start it at maybe 1:30?
What final is it?
Navarro, I'm not sure what the status on it is.
I'm on that one as well, Judge.
Well, I mean, maybe could we do this one in the morning before you start your final? Or is the afternoon the only time that's available?
Can anybody do this at 9 o'clock?
I can.
I've got a criminal hearing set that morning.
All right, what about a little later in the day? Because I'll have to travel to Farwell. So assuming that final is over with, I may be able to drive back before setting. So what about, like, say at 3 o'clock? I'm afraid 1:30, I might not be able to make that work.
That works for me.
And as the newest defense attorney, I'm free too at that time too. I'm free all day that day.
You'll have plenty of third degrees in state jails to be working on, Tracy. I promise.
Awesome.
You'll be one of few attorneys, I'm sure, that's agreeing to them.
I'll get something worked out on that, Your Honor. I can do the 11th, whatever time.
All right, let's set it 12/11 at 3 p.m.
Judge, I'll be sending out dates for a meeting with the child. Are you wanting Costa involved with that meeting as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, then I'm going to just recess this at this time. So I'll see everybody back on December 11th at 3 p.m. Before that time, then obviously Ms. Riley can speak with her client, and then I will speak with the child with attorney, guardian ad litem, and CASA present. All right, I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Also, Judge,
Mhm.
my understanding is Tasia was wanting to speak with my client and me. Could you maybe create a breakout room for us to go visit briefly?
Yeah, who did you say you need to talk
Ms. McIntyre and my
McIntyre.
client was Ellery.
Okay.
And just to clarify, Judge, do you want to? Okay, yeah, just if y'all can get with us, we'll find a time to make that work.
Yeah, Rachel will send out some dates about that.
Thank you, Judge.
Yeah. All right, let me get y'all set up for Ms. McIntyre has good taste in food.
I second that for you.
If you didn't know that, I found that out on Saturday. We ran into one another. Okay. Mr. Turan, you and Ms. McIntyre, I'm sending you to room 1.
And Ms. Ellery, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Ellery, just a minute. Let me. We are here to resume our status hearing. We called and recessed this back, the date real quick, back on November 19th, as we had just appointed Ms. Riley as a guardian ad litem for the child, and she had not had any fair opportunity to get with the child and visit. So we really didn't cover much of anything at that point. We just recessed. Okay, so we are conducting our status hearing now. We are doing this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of parties, and we are live streaming at this time, and Ms. Taylor is making our record. Okay, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Okay. Melinda Powell for the department, filling in for Daniel Trout. Worker is Tasia McIntyre. As the child is present, I would request to go off YouTube.
Brian Turman on behalf of respondent parents. They are both present and ready. I join with Ms. Powell in the request to go off of YouTube.
Savannah Kincaid, I'm the attorney for the child. She would like for this to be broadcast on YouTube.
Tracy Riley, I'm the guardian ad litem for Alave, and I don't know that there's any particular reason why we need to be off of YouTube or not. So I don't really have a position as to that.
All right, well, generally speaking, when we have a child present in the courtroom, we typically will close the courtroom. As we all well know, our viewers are not limited to people that are really have any justiciable interest or even any legal interest in the case. And because Elevate is a minor and we might be discussing things that I would deem to be, confidential in nature to her or to protect her privacy, I am going to go ahead and close the courtroom. And I will stop the live stream at this time. The court deems that is in the best interest of the child.
I don't believe so. I mean,
Okay.
I don't have an agreement, unfortunately. So we'll.
Okay.
Okay, well, we are right into the start time on our next adversary. How long y'all anticipating on this?
That is hard for me to say, Judge. I just,
Yeah. Let me ask, do you know anything about that case, the Brown case?
I do not, Your Honor. I've not heard from Mom's attorney on that one.
Let me bring her in real quickly.
Okay.
And see where we are on that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Judge.
We're running behind. We're getting ready to start what is going to be a contested adversary, but I wanted to check with you to see the status on your case.
So we are in agreement with the terms of the temporary the orders. However, we were informed that there needed to be a hearing due to issues with Dad. But we're on board, so we'll be quick and easy, Your Honor.
Okay, is your client possibly logged in as Misty Carter?
Yes, she is.
Okay. All right. So everybody on this Reuter case, I'm going to put y'all in the waiting room. I'm going to take up this next case real quickly. We'll try to dispose of that in just a matter of about 5 minutes. And then we'll come back and get started with y'all.
Judge Baker?
Yes.
I am set here in Judge Weaver's court to start at 10 a.m. on a prove up for a divorce. I think I can get started in the next couple minutes.
Okay. If you want to go ahead and go do that while we're taking care of this other thing, that would be great, Miss Sapien.
Okay, I'll get it done. Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Okay, Jerry, I'll put you guys back in the waiting room, so everybody just stay logged in and we'll get back to you as quick as we can. Here today sit on our adversary hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We're live streaming and I am recording to the Zoom cloud today. I don't have a court reporter. All right, then we'll take announcements.
Daniel Trout for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. We're present and ready. And Your Honor, if you could let Jordan Alford in to the hearing, please.
Sure.
Brianna Gomez on behalf of Misty, who's listed as Misty Carter. We're correcting that paperwork and we're ready, Your Honor.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of the boys.
Okay, then Mr. Trout, you can call first witness.
Yes, ma'am. We call Katie Larson, Your Honor.
All right, Miss Larson, if you'll raise your right hand, you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Trout, before you start with her, then I just want to confirm Ms. Gomez has indicated that Ms. Cole, also known as Ms. Carter, has agreed for the department to be named as temporary managing conservator. Ms. Gomez, is that correct?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
All right, and I assume that we are agreeable to no child support, no medical support, so that mom can use those resources towards working services?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, and mom understands that she will be working some services for us?
Yes.
Okay. All right, then, Mr. Trout, if you want to proceed with the issues as to Mr. Brown, that'd be great.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Larson, would you state your name for the record, please?
Katie Larson
And Ms. Larson, how are you employed?
with the Department of Family and Protective Services.
And you're familiar with the case involving the Brown children, is that correct?
Yes.
And how are you familiar with that case?
I'm the investigator for the case.
Okay. And you heard the announcement that mom is in agreement with the department having temporary managing conservatorship.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll take up issues with the father. Have you been able to have did mom tell you who the father of the children was?
Yes, it's Arthur Brown.
Okay. And do you know where Mr. Brown is?
Yes, he's currently incarcerated in LaGrange County Jail in Indiana.
Okay. Have you been able to have any contact with him?
No, I've sent him mail, but no response.
Okay. Have you had an opportunity to try to have any phone conversation or call the jail where they let you speak to him?
I haven't.
Okay. But you did confirm that he was in the Indiana County Jail.
Yes.
Okay. How many different communications have you sent to him?
2.
And no response at this time?
No.
Okay. Have you been able to get up with any of the paternal side of the family?
No.
Okay. Do you know, have you gotten any names of any paternal side of the family?
No. It didn't seem like the family was really too involved with him.
Okay. Do you know how long he is set to be incarcerated?
The last I heard it was up to 5 years. However, I haven't heard that from like an official with a jail or anything like that.
Okay. Where did you get that number?
Miss Carter.
Okay. All right. And did Miss Carter give you any of Dad's family?
No.
Okay. So at this time, Dad's incarcerated. You have not received any communication, and we're not sure if he's not in a position to take care of the children. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Due to Mom's agreement and Dad's incarceration in another state at this time, do you believe it's in the best interest of the children to stay in temporary managing conservatorship of the state of Texas?
Yes.
Okay. And for once we make contact with Dad to try to work any services that he can while he's incarcerated?
Yes.
And you believe that's in the best interest of all 3 children?
Yes.
Okay. How are the children doing?
They're doing pretty well. They do have some behavior issues, which were already known, like ongoing before they went into care. And they're adjusting to getting into school. So they seem to be doing pretty well.
Okay. And just to take up kind of things that are going on, there is CPS cases in Michigan.
Yes.
And you have attended a hearing up there.
Yes.
Okay. And you have been in contact with the CPS in Michigan.
Yes.
Okay. Do we know kind of where their case stands and what they are wanting to do?
I think they will be dismissing if we maintain TMC.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I believe one of the children has a legal issue up there. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what is going to come of that?
If we maintain TMC, the probation will just get transferred to Texas.
Okay. All right. And you believe that at this time that's in the best interest of all the children?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Zavala, any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right. I do have a question about this situation with Michigan. Ms. Gomez, is it your client's intent to remain in Texas at this time?
That is my understanding, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Okay, Mr. Trout, anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. Does the department rest?
Department rest, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Gomez, any witnesses to call today?
No witnesses to call, and we rest, Your Honor.
All right, and Ms. Zavala?
No witnesses, just a report.
All right, and your recommendation today?
Your Honor, I have met with all 3 boys by themselves pretty extensively. They all seem to be doing well. They are placed in the general Houston area right now. Cole and Jacob are together. They have found in placement they cannot be roommates, so they're no longer roommates, but they are together in the same placement. Chance is in the same general area, but just because of the dynamics of Houston, they're probably almost an hour and a half away. They have gotten to visit virtually, and it's really important to all of them that those virtual visits with Mom and with each other continue. They've identified for me a number of different family members, and I'm going to forward that information to Jordan. I know that there was a kinship meeting yesterday to try to identify some family members, and some of those are the same. But it is my recommendation at this time that all three boys remain in the temporary managing conservatorship of the department, and that is in their best interest.
All right, thank you, Ms. Zavala. All right, then at this time, I do find the evidence is sufficient to name the Department of Family and Protective Services as temporary managing conservator of all three children. I would find that there would be a continuing danger to return the children home at this time to their mother. And it's obviously impossible to return the children to their father as he's incarcerated. I'll approve the agreement with mother for no child support or medical support. Obviously expect parents will work services and then we'll continue the children's current placements. Okay, then the department will be ordered to use reasonable efforts to reunify the family. We'll talk more about your service plans at the next hearing. That status hearing will be on November 12th of 2024. That will be on a 9 o'clock docket. So, Ms. Carter, you don't have to wait to get started on your services. The faster you get started on those things, the better. But between now and that next hearing, the caseworker that will be assigned to you through St. Francis will be meeting with you, talking about those services, and certainly you and your attorney can discuss those things.
Okay.
All right, it's really important that you stay in contact with your caseworker and in particular your attorney. If you have a change of phone number or something, let them know. They need to be able to reach you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. I appreciate you appearing today. I appreciate you working it out, and I'll see everybody back November 12th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank y'all.
Could I have a quick breakout room with, and I'm blanking on who the caseworker is.
Well, all I've got out there right
Jordan.
now is Mr. Barfield and Ms. Gomez, but Ms.
Yeah.
Alford.
Jordan offered. Yes, ma'am.
Let me get you guys in there real quick. All right, Ms. Alford, Ms. Zavala, Ms. Watson, room 1.
Do I get to go?
They didn't ask for you.
Are you gonna be nice?
He's welcome to join.
I might.
They didn't ask for you.
I kind of threw him in at the end. And said,
Oh, I didn't hear it.
If he wants to go.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it. Selective hearing, you know. We're here today for a status hearing. We are conducting this through Zoom. We are live streaming. And Ms. Galvan is making our record. All right, we'll take announcements.
Daniel Trow for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Jordan Alford is my primacy specialist. We're present ready.
Brianna Gomez on behalf of respondent mother Misty Carter, aka Cole, and we are ready.
Brooks Barfield for alleged father Arthur Brown. I am present and ready. My understanding is Mr. Brown is incarcerated in Indiana, and we are trying to figure out how to make arrangements for the state of Indiana to cooperate with us for him to appear with at these hearings. But I am present.
Stacey Zavala on behalf of the boys.
Okay, I'm just looking, it looks like your citation, Mr. Brown got returned unserved.
Yes, ma'am. So he was in a county jail. I believe he's been moved to a state facility now, and we got caught a lot mixed up. Well, we crossed paths of him getting moved and our citation getting there. So
Gotcha. Okay. I just didn't know if it was they were not cooperating or.
no, ma'am. I think he was moved from that county, LaGrange County, to the state facility.
Okay. All right, and it looks like we've initiated a certificate of paternity registry search. This was
On the youngest, I believe it was on Jacob, Your Honor.
yeah, for this was looks like it was the state of Missouri.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Okay. Then we're here for our status hearings, so we'll get an update on service plans and where we are with that.
Okay. Chance is still currently on runaway. We had a meeting this morning with the SIs regarding him. We have no update right now. They did find a relative in this area, one of Dad's relatives. They spoke with her. She hasn't heard from him. So they're still just trying to track him down. Mom has been in contact with me about him as well. She reports she hasn't heard from him at all. Cole and Jacob are placed together still. Cole did have an incident last week. He was placed in the psychiatric hospital for suicidal ideation. He was released yesterday and is back at placement. They said yesterday that when he came back to placement, he was very cooperative and they didn't have any issues. Both boys can be pretty explosive. They are struggling with both of them with their behaviors. Cole, they had put in a 14-day discharge on Cole originally. And so we had a new placement for him. Whenever I talked with him about going to that new placement last week, he freaked out, saying that he didn't want to go. He wanted to be with his brother. And previously he had said he thought he would do better separate from his brother. So we didn't move forward with that placement. And he was able to stay where he was. They rescinded the discharge. So there is no current discharge right now, but now Cole is reporting that he does want to be moved again. So we're kind of,
Are they in any kind of, are the boys in any kind of family counseling?
They are not in any family counseling right now. But it's definitely something that they both see the same therapist.
Yeah, well, let's loop it in as quick as we can.
Okay.
And see if we can't identify what, I mean, other than just, you got a 13 and a 14-year-old.
Yeah, and their psychological evaluations did come back. Cole is on one of the DSM-5 diagnosis was autism spectrum, mild to moderate. So I think that could have a lot to do with it as well. Both of them seem lower functioning. Jacobs it came back ruled out autism spectrum, but still possible. So I'm going to send in a referral to our DID specialist so they can get official testing at the Harris Center for Mental Health.
Okay. Well, I don't see that the sibling counseling can hurt.
Yes. Yeah. I can email them about that right after this hearing.
I mean, obviously we want to keep them together if we can. And unless it just becomes where it's obviously more destructive than it is beneficial, but.
Yes. And their placement has been more than willing to work with both of them. Originally they were kind of ready to get Cole out of there, but once I guess they spoke with both boys about wanting to stay together, they rescinded the discharge. So I know they're willing to work with them, and they've just been having some difficulties with their behaviors.
Okay. What about school? What's their situation in school?
They both attend the same junior high school, 7th and 8th grade. They're doing pretty well in school. No major issues so far. They are behind because they hadn't been in school for 2 years. So they're working on getting caught up.
Do they qualify for any, I mean, have they had ARDs? Do they qualify for any accommodations or anything?
I believe their ARD is scheduled for early next month.
Okay. All right. And nobody's had any contact with Chance?
I have not since he ran on the 14th of October. Mom did report to me that he reached out to a Patrick, which I believe is her ex-boyfriend in Michigan, and he told him that he was okay, but he wouldn't divulge where he was. And that was probably maybe a week or so after he had run. And I gave that information to the SI as well.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anything else, Ms. Alford?
Mom did sign her plan this morning. I just sent it to be e-filed. So she's already getting things set up, and she's more than willing. She's been very cooperative and willing to work with us. They have visits weekly, virtual right now. We've talked about getting her maybe a bus pass or something to go see the boys down in Houston in person. So we're working on that, but she's been very cooperative, ready to do what she needs to do to get these kiddos home.
Okay.
Ms. Alford, have you been able to mail a copy to Dad? Or
Yes, I did. Once I figured out where he was, I did. Yes.
Okay. All right. And Judge, those were filed on the 30th of October.
Okay. All right. Ms. Gomez.
No further questions from me, Judge.
Okay. Anything to report today?
Other than we signed I believe we've already submitted the order for today. We did sign that, get that sent over in addition to that safety plan this morning. Misty, do you have any additional issues for the court that we did not cover? Did we cover everything that's been covered with you?
And you'll have to unmute, Ms. Carter.
I don't have anything to add. Thank you.
Okay.
Misty. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
All right. Mr. Barfield?
Really, I don't really have, I have a question. Jordan, has there been any paternity testing or has any on Mr. Brown, or is there anything to indicate that he's the father since he's alleged in this particular case, other than maybe statements by Ms. Carter?
I don't have any other knowledge besides what Miss Carter has reported.
Okay. And Your Honor, so basically, I think since he's an alleged father, I'd kind of think that genetic testing might be in order in this case, if we don't have anything else barring that.
I am not aware of anything else. He is alleged as to all three children. We now know where he is. I know he's out of state, but Mr. Trout, do you think we can get that set up?
Sorry, we can definitely work on it, John.
Okay.
That's all I have, Judge.
Okay. All right, then Ms. Zavala.
Okay, I've had some good long conversations with both Jacob and Cole and placement. Screen did something with there. I was able to speak to Cole when he was in the hospital and by himself. And then actually he returned to placement last night, which is when my scheduled video call with Jacob was. So I got to see him again. Both of them were requesting to me contact with other family members. There was something about mom's phone number being changed and making sure that that was updated on the call list. Both of them described wanting to have contact with who they called their stepdad, which I think is this person that you referenced earlier, Patrick, Sierra, Arthur, Hannah, Chase, if he comes back. I'm sorry, Chance, if he comes back. So they both reported really liking school, which is really good. I am glad to hear that there's an ARD set up. I think that's really important that we get that done. I will say that Cole was pretty clear when I talked to him that he would like to be moved if at all possible. He wants continued contact with Jacob. He wants to be able to have visits with him and to talk to him. But placement also confirmed that they trigger each other a lot. And that while Cole was out, Jacob's behaviors got better. Cole, I talked to him, I said, you're telling me that you really want to stay in the same school. If it came to an option of moving placements and you have to move school too, what do you think of that? And he said, I'd rather move placements. But I think it is really important that we get that ARD done. So if we've got it scheduled, and if there's a way to maintain that placement until we can get that ARD done, I think that would be really helpful. But he is expressing a strong preference to move at this time, as long as he can continue that bond with his brother and family members. And it does seem to be, based on the information I'm getting from placement, that they just really escalate each other's behaviors.
as do lots of siblings.
Yeah.
And you know, do you feel like he really comprehends what, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't realize my video went on. Do you think he really comprehends what that could look like and how far away he might end up being from his brother?
I don't know. I mean, we talked about being away and he said as long as there were phone calls and video calls and he still got to see his mom, you know, and we didn't specifically talk about the potential of being hours away. I mean, my hope is they could stay in the same region. We seem to have a decent number of placements in that same general area. So I didn't talk to him specifically about that, but we did have a good long talk and he seemed to be pretty clear about what he thought he needed. I also wanted to check on, is there anything currently set up for speech therapy for Cole?
I will have to follow up on that. I'm not sure.
I think we need to get that set up for him.
Will do.
The other thing I want to make sure, and you've probably already done this, is for the time that he was at the hospital, that the school knows that those absences should be excused.
Yes, I already spoke to them.
I figured you had.
Well, so I agree. The ARD needs to happen. I mean, that I don't want to delay that getting done by just up and moving him. You know, I would like for the sibling therapy to happen a few times before we make any kind of decision like that. If placement is willing to hang on to him for a while, I think that's what we need to do. And explore a little further. And if he continues to maintain that he wants to be separated, then we'll take a look at it. It just seems awfully early in the game to be doing that. I'm assuming, Ms. Gomez, that your client would like to have the children stay together.
Yes, Your Honor, that is my understanding.
Okay. Well, I want to give it a little bit longer and let's, you know, get this ARD done. That'll follow him if we end up having to move him or if placement discharges on him, you know, we have to. At least that will follow him to his new school. And, you know, let's just let the therapist try to spend some time with them together and, you know, and talking about what that possibly could look like, you know, and that it's not always as easy as it sounds to just pick up the phone and have a visit. So, okay.
I do love that for kids that are so far behind in school, they both had very positive attitudes about this particular school. And so I hate to mess that up.
Absolutely.
Yes, they do love school. And I forgot to ask as well if we could order a UA for Miss Carter today.
Okay. Okay, then, Ms. Cole, I am going to order you to go do that drug test today. Do you know where to go?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go be sure you're there before 4 o'clock.
Okay.
So today I'm going to continue the department as temporary managing conservator. And I'm going to continue the voice placements. I will find that there is a continuing danger to return the children home today. And that obviously the department's using reasonable efforts to try to reunify the family. Ms. Cole, I'm going to order your service plan as an order of the court today. So that means it's like any other court order. I expect you to abide by that. And I have to tell you at this point that failure to work your service plan could mean the children don't come home. In worst case, it can mean termination of your parental rights. So nobody wants that to happen. So your service plan is really important. It sounds like you're off to a very good start. And just understand that I'm required to tell you those things.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I will see everybody back for our next review hearing on March 18th of 2025. That'll be a 9 o'clock docket. And would somebody keep me in the loop and let me know if we recover Chance?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Then I appreciate everybody, and I'll see you back in March.
We have tried to coordinate with that facility, and we are having some difficulty getting anyone to cooperate with us, getting him on a hearing. I am ready to proceed today. We will continue our best efforts to get another state to cooperate with us.
Stacy Zabala on behalf of the boys.
Okay, thank you. All right, then, what do we have new since our court report was filed?
Okay, there is quite a bit. So I'm just going to start with Chance. He is still on runaway. We haven't heard anything from him, and neither has mom. I've talked with mom about it several times. So we have a special investigator that's assigned, and he is still working on trying to recover him again. Previously, he was on runaway for about 4 months. And then when we recovered him, he didn't stay for too long. Cole was placed in Rosenberg, Texas, down near Houston. Last week, we did get him moved to Levelland to Flyer. So he is back in region, which is good. We're trying to get transportation set up so he can come visit mom next week at their visit. Jacob is at Amarillo Children's Home now. He's getting weekly in-person visits with mom, and those are going well. Their older sister, Hannah, she's 18. She also attends the visits most of the time in person. And then they have previously in the past done a Teams call with Cole since he hasn't been in region during the visit. So they're having that weekly contact as well. But like I said, we're going to try to get him to the visits in person weekly now that he's back in region. I don't have any update on dad. I've tried to contact him multiple times. I've sent him letters every month. I've sent him his family plan every month, and I haven't heard anything back from him. With Misty, she has stayed in contact with me. She has started working services. She has a job. She's working on getting a house. She just recently got her own transportation. I think that's kind of been a big obstacle for her. Was transportation, but she has started services. She had an OSAR appointment scheduled for yesterday, which she no-showed. I hadn't gotten a chance to talk to her about that yet. I just got that report this morning. The drug screens that were pending from a couple of weeks ago did come back. The UA was negative and the hair strand was positive for methamphetamines. She started her parenting classes. And that's kind of where she's at on services right now.
Okay, couple questions. So we know dad's incarcerated. He's not responding to us. I saw where citation was issued. I'm not seeing a return. He's got an attorney. Water genetic testing. Okay, where do we stand on all of that wonderful stuff?
I'm still showing we have sent it out and haven't gotten anything back on the citation, Your Honor. Let me see.
I show we've issued citation like twice on him.
Yeah, I think one came back and he may have been moved, I think, but in between us sending it out and getting there. So we sent it back out to the other, and I don't think we have gotten that one back yet.
I don't remember if we just appointed or if he filled out, let me look. I'm looking to see if he filled out a statement of procedure. Yep, he sure did. And in that, he says he acknowledges he's the father of all 3 children. Okay. Ms. Barfield, you haven't even had so much contact with him as to discuss that or about filing an answer on his behalf or anything, have you?
No, because he's in the Westville Correctional Facility. And we have written him a letter. He has not written him back. We have tried to call multiple times and it is a void. Which sometimes happens in these correctional facilities. I do show an earliest possible release date of 8/8/25 for what it's worth. And we're going to continue to effort to get a hold of him. I mean, we have a phone number here. If somebody needs it, to call for the person who's supposed to coordinate being able to have him appear, or for me to even talk to him. Usually you do that at least around here in the law, the law librarian and stuff like that. So, I mean, I know how to talk to people in prison, and we're just not getting anything in response from the facility, which is kind of frustrating. But no, I've not been able to talk to him about what his position is at all at this point. And we just wrote him another letter, just I guess yesterday, as a matter of fact.
I wonder if we tried for our next hearing in July. I wonder if we tried sending them an order for him to appear by phone or Zoom or something. If we'd get any, response or cooperation.
Absolutely, Your Honor. That's what I was gonna kind of request. Maybe that would get some more. That gives us, we have some time, because I would like to get him. I do need to know his position, and some of these guys are really great writers, and some of these guys don't write you back at all when they're incarcerated, and I've yet to figure out which one this is. But that would probably be more effective. Or at least the best efforts that I think we could make to try to figure out what his position is going to be in this case.
I'd hate to send it right now because it might get lost in the shuffle, but I'm thinking,
30 days before, maybe?
Yeah, 30 days in advance. Maybe we ought to do an order for him to appear at that next hearing.
Okay. I'm writing notes on that.
If we can do that, we can put you in a breakout room with him and
absolutely. And in the meantime, I may get a hold of him. I'll let the court know, but that's exactly what I was going to suggest to the court actually today, is about, because anything outside of 30, 45 days, it will get lost in the shuffle for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Miss Katie, can you make a calendar notation of that too? About that time, we need to be sure. And
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Your Honor, is that an order that you need me to prepare, or would the court prepare that order?
I don't know, Rachel, who usually does them?
I can do it. I have all the required information that they need.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Rachel.
You're welcome, Brooks. You owe me.
Well, Sandy owes you, and Melissa owes you, and I.
Okay, well, Sandy owes me. Somebody owes me.
Somebody owes you. Well, all right. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay, then.
Judge.
Oh, yep.
I'm sorry. I had a couple of questions for Ms. Alford real quick.
Okay.
Ms. Alford, mom has been doing some in-person visits?
Yes.
Okay.
Since Jacob was placed.
Okay. And how often do those take place?
Weekly.
Okay. And the hair strand you said came back positive. UA was negative, but hair strand came back positive.
Yes, I filed them yesterday.
Okay. And Judge, my question is, just looking at them, her last hair was positive in October. The levels are substantially higher on the hair this time than they were by 30,000 units.
Methamphetamine?
Yes, ma'am. The UA's was negative, but she did no show January and February.
Right. I saw that.
She did have a negative UA in November. The concern again is the in-person with such high levels. I know it's on the hair and she was clean on the UA, but it does appear that she was using probably in the months of January and February when she no-showed. Just got the concern of the transference. I mean, I know they're older kids, but still you got the transference issue. Question, I guess, is do we continue with the in-persons since the UA was negative?
I'm going to let the visits continue, particularly because we've just got one child back in region.
Yes, ma'am.
But Ms. Gomez, if you've got communication with her and, I mean, you can tell her that, this is a big problem. And at this stage in her case, I mean, we're exactly 180 days in. I mean, we're halfway through and we're still having the biggest issue of why we're here, So she needs to do what she needs to do. If it's inpatient rehab, whatever it is, she needs to be kind of getting with it.
Absolutely, Judge. I'll get with her and discuss how serious the situation is.
Yeah, and I mean, if she gives, and I will say this, if she comes up with a negative with a positive UA, I will stop the visits at this point.
And
because that, I'm concerned she missed this OSAR appointment. All of
Thank you for not stopping them yet.
Yeah, it's all very concerning. So she's got another bite at the apple, and that's probably it.
And
we'll stop them.
And I know I kind of mentioned it, Judge. It looks like levels went from 1,600 in October to 36,000 in this month. So quite a jump.
Yep, great big one. Okay, Ms. Gomez, anything else to report today?
No, Your Honor, I appreciate everyone's diligent efforts in getting a child moved back into the region, and I'll discuss everything with my client, and hopefully we'll see some improvement.
Okay, I'm going to put in my order about the positive UA. If she pops if she pops a UA, then we're going to stop them.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Barfield, anything else to add?
Judge, real quick on that. Since we've had her no-show the last couple of months, I know if she pops positive on a UA, but what if she no-shows again?
It's deemed positive, so anything moving forward. Yeah.
Okay.
Anything that's deemed a positive result, whether it was an actual result or whether it was deemed because she didn't show. Yeah. All right, Ms. Barfield, anything else?
No, I have no witnesses, Judge. I don't have anything else till today, just basically due to a lack of information on our end here.
Good. Ms. Zavala?
Your Honor, Jacob and Cole are doing well. Cole, of course, just got moved in region as was discussed. And he is very much interested in in-person visits. I do know that, we're looking at 2.5 hours or so. So if there are times when he cannot make it in person, I do want to make sure that video is set up for him. And I know that was done at his previous placement, but those were his two concerns was, making sure he had some way to participate in visitation, but really was hoping for in person. So I'm thrilled to hear that that's going to happen. I am disappointed to hear about mom's drug tests, and I hope that can change. But they are doing well, and I do recommend that those placements continue.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, then today I'm going to continue the department as temporary managing conservator, and I'm going to continue the children's current placements. I would find a continuing danger to return the children home at this time, and I'm going to order that if mother has any future positive UA, whether that's actual or deemed, her visits will be stopped. And I'll see everybody back July 15th of 2025. That'll be on a 9 o'clock docket, and then we'll get that order out for him to appear and see what happens.
And Your Honor, I should have said this earlier. I just sent Rachel a list of possible CASA cases. I am recommending this case for CASA if and when one becomes available.
Okay. We'll see what they got. All right, then. I sure appreciate it. Thank you all very much. And I'll see you in a few months on this matter. I'm sure I'll see all of you before then.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Brooks, if the citation on Dad comes back, if we do get him served, it'll be filed, but I'll try to catch it and let you know.
Cool. Appreciate you. And like I say, I'll do the same thing. If we're able to make contact and I find something out, Daniel, about this guy, I'll kind of let you kind of know what he's let me know as well.
All right. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
So totally totally off the record. I mean, I know we're on YouTube, but totally off the record because no reason for Miss Cherry to take this, but we got any leads about where Chance might be? I mean, 16. I mean, it's hard to believe we don't have any clues or any leads or any known associates or,
I gave the SI the address he was found at by police last time. They've been by there several times, so I don't know if he's made it back to Amarillo yet, or I know that's probably what he's trying to do if he hasn't. I do think mom would tell us if he were to return, because when the police picked him up at that house, they took him straight to mom's house because he said that was where he lived. And mom immediately called us and we went and picked him up. And she's been obviously distraught about him being gone and worried about him. So I do think that she would tell us.
Okay. All right.
One of my thoughts about CASA is just they can really help identify family members, and whether that could lead to some sort of unauthorized placement if we can find them, things like that.
Yeah.
I just think they'd be a good resource to have in to try to find any alternative placements for him.
Okay. Just curious. All right. Okay. Appreciate y'all.
Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you, Jordan. Sorry, Judge, we are back in.
Okay. All right. So everybody is back on the Greuter case. However, I've got Mr. Groff and Ms. Naranjo logged in now. I want to find out from them, Mr. Trout, if that case is all agreed, same deal. I'm going to take it up real quickly.
Yes, ma'am.
And then we'll come back to Greuter, but
You're good.
because we're running into that time slot. So let me just bring them in
Okay.
and see. Mr. Morales, your client is in the waiting room on that case too. So we're sort of juggling around this morning. I've got a contested adversary that we're going to have to start, but Mr. Morales indicates on the Poisel case that his client is in agreement. Ms. Naranjo, anything to report?
I've had no contact with my client, Your Honor.
All right. He is not logged in either. So that's going to require at least some testimony, correct?
Yeah, I believe so, Your Honor.
Yep. Okay. I'll put y'all back in the waiting room. Let me take this other matter, get started on this other matter, and we'll see how extensive this is going to be. We might take a break in it and try to get you all done. Do either of you have a specific time constraint this morning?
I do not. If Father doesn't appear, I may be able to just use the one social worker witness. I have one witness who's a school teacher, and there may be some time constraints with her. That's the only thing I would be concerned about.
Who is that?
Her name is Janie Satterfield.
Okay, she is currently logged in. Would you like for me to, would a breakout room help you, or do you need to?
That would be fine, Your Honor. I can just check with her and see if she's got any time constraints. We don't expect, if we have to put on testimony, long testimony, but I just want to be mindful of her school schedule.
Okay, I'll tell you what, let me just bring her in real quickly and we'll just see. Okay, Ms. Satterfield, this is Judge Baker.
Yes.
We're kind of running behind on some things. I'm trying to figure out everybody's schedule.
Okay.
Do you have some time constraints in the next 30 minutes, let's say?
I should be okay for the next 30 minutes.
Okay, but only probably for the next 30 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. All right, then I'll tell you what, everybody, I'm sorry, but on the Greuter case, since it's going to be contested, I'm going to take up this matter on the Poisel case. I think it will be fairly brief. So the same thing, I'll put everybody back in the waiting room on that, and we'll get back to this today on a court-ordered service case. We are conducting this through Zoom. We're live streaming, and I am recording to the Zoom cloud. If you need a copy, let me know, and we'll make it available. All right, Mr. Groff, I'm not sure if there's other folks you need.
Just Katie Larson, if she's there, Your Honor. She's my social worker.
All right, bringing her in. All right, I've got someone on a phone. Let me see who this is to make sure it's not Ms. Naranjo's client. All right, I have got someone on a telephone, a Samsung device. Can you unmute for me? With the initial B?
Hello?
Yeah, is this Mr. Renault?
Yes, this is him.
Okay, Mr. Ronho, I assume you would like to have a breakout room with him.
Yes, I would, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Renaud, I'm gonna put you in a private room with your attorney so you can visit with your attorney.
Okay. Okay. Yes. You break.
Can you accept that or say join?
Well, you couldn't pay for it. He has to.
Okay. All right, he's got it now. Okay, Ms. Poisel, I had muted you just because of the background noise, so
Oh, you're good. I just unmuted myself. I'm sorry.
that's all right. I was just
It
trying
took
to
me a
speak.
while. It took me a while to try.
I was just trying to speak with Mr. Renaud, so I had muted you again.
Okay.
Judge, I lost Mr. Renaud. There he is.
You see me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm here.
All right, Mr. Renaud, do I need to take him back in?
Yes, please.
All right. Where'd he go?
I'm right here.
I don't think you're on there anymore.
I can't see him.
Yeah, I don't see him either. I don't think you're on there no more.
Let me see if he went
Try
to the
again.
break. He may have gotten into his breakout room.
Oh yeah, he said he's on there.
It's just please wait. The processing will begin shortly.
It says please wait. The processing will begin shortly. It said.
All right, I'm gonna bring him back in from the waiting room. Are you all in close? Are you in the same vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. You're probably gonna have to, when we get started, you may have to separate because we're likely gonna get some feedback between the two of you.
Okay.
Okay, I've brought you back in.
I'm here.
You need to go back to room 2.
Okay.
If you go down to where it says breakout rooms. Mr. Renaud, do you have your attorney's phone number?
No, I don't. Yeah, fixing to get to the house right now, and we'll.
Do you see?
Probably hear you better.
Okay, I can barely hear you. Do you see where it says to join room 3? Did you get that prompt?
Yes.
Did you say join?
Yeah, he clicked it and it didn't do nothing.
It's put me back to sign in.
Yeah, it put him back to sign in.
Tell him we've been down.
We went to the courthouse because we thought it was at the courthouse because nobody sent us a link to join the court proceedings, and so we was at the courthouse and they told us that it was only on Zoom, and we didn't know that because the lawyer didn't say that, and we didn't know.
Okay,
I'm trying to log it back in for him.
Ms. Morales, could I possibly put you and your client in there with Ms. Naranjo and he could work off her device for a minute?
Not a problem at all, Your Honor.
All right, let's do that. So Jerry, you can go back to room 3.
Okay.
Okay, so Ms. Poisel, I'm going to send a prompt to your phone to go to room 3.
Administrator to enable this feature. Okay. Okay.
Did you get that? Okay. Miss Katie, would you mind to go into room 3 and tell them we are going to have to get started?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Judge, before we begin, I would ask to withdraw from this case. I've been trying to communicate with Mr. Renaud to get him to understand what's going on, and we're making zero progress on anything. And I think to represent him at this point would not be effective use of counsel.
Let me bring him back in. We'll have to reset it. All right, Mr. Renaud, can you hear me? He's not connected to audio. All right, Mr. Renaud, can you hear me? You need to connect to audio. All right, Miss Katie, what could we look at as far as resetting this? And I think we're going to need to do this in person.
We're going to need to do it in person.
I'm thinking so.
I'll have to make sure our courtroom's available.
Yeah, we're
Make sure the AV is working.
Yep. We're having all kinds of problems with technology.
Well, I don't have Stacy Zavala on the 10th. She's out. Um, could possibly do the 17th in the morning if everyone's available then.
I'm available.
I'm available if I remain on the case.
I can't get audio. I don't seem to have audio with either. Well, I should have it with Ms. Poisel. Ms. Poisel, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is Mr. Renaud where he can hear?
He is, we've separated so that you could, so it didn't mess up the.
Well, he's not connected to audio, so.
I can hear you now.
Okay. All right. So Mr. Renaud, your attorney says that you all are not effectively communicating and she is asking to withdraw from your case. Is that what you want her to do? Can you hear me?
She's asking to withdraw from your case because.
I'm asking if.
Because it's just now asking him what you said.
Well, understand that's a two-way street, Mr. Renaud. Just a minute. I'm going to allow Ms. Naranjo to withdraw and I will appoint another attorney to you, but I'm telling you, that's it. That's the last one. So, you need to listen to your attorney's advice, but we're going to reset the case so that I can appoint another attorney to represent you. So, Ms. Katie, again, what day are we looking at?
October 17th.
And Judge,
On the 9. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say on the 17th, I might be able to do that in the morning. The early afternoon would be better. I do have I'm scheduled on the jury trial docket for the 3/20th and I'm sorry, the 47th, and then a PNC for the 3/20th, which I probably can juggle. And then also have a detention hearing possibly for a juvenile that maybe still be detained at that point. And that's at 10. So I mean, I'm sorry, that's at 10:30. So I'm kind of already juggling that morning. I mean, I could maybe make something work, but it's definitely going to be more difficult if this is going to be in person.
Can we, Ms. Katie, let's see I'm looking at the 17th. We've got two finals.
Yeah, 2 finals that afternoon.
And are those at 1:30?
Yes, to accommodate the reporter.
All right. So Mr. Morales, you think if we took this up, say I'm looking at what else we got. Maybe Ms. Katie, you think we could be done at take this up at 12:30, something like that?
Yeah, if that works for everybody, we could do that.
That'd be great for me. I think I could definitely manage that, Judge.
I'm sorry to cut into your all's lunchtime, but I've got those finals starting at 1:30, so I'm going to have to get started on those. So, all right, let's set it for the 17th at 12:30. Mr. Renaud, we'll appoint someone new to represent you, but that's what I'm telling you. That'll be it. That's the only substitution I'm going to allow you. I can't hear you.
Are you?
So I'm going to appoint a new attorney for him. We'll get that information to the caseworker.
But this is the only attorney she's going to appoint. That's it, she said.
Okay.
Judge, I don't have a contact number for Mr. Poisel or for Mr. Renaud.
All right, Mr. Now, we need your phone number.
She can't hear you. Can she hear?
We need your phone number and an email if you have it.
She needs your phone number and an email if you have it.
Can he just walk into your device and turn his off and walk in and tell us his phone number and his email address on your device?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Just turn your device off, she said, in here. Okay. She said just turn yours off.
And Judge, you still are on YouTube if he's going to give his information.
I understand.
Okay. I don't know why the camera's not showing, but here. She needs your phone number and your email. That's what she said. So okay. You're going to have to get your phone number. Where's your phone at? I can't click off there.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Can you tell me your phone number, please?
Bobby, 806. It's you don't know my phone number, Lisa?
No, not unless I look on the phone and
she's looking it up.
Do you have an email address?
Yes, Bobby.
All right.
What a birthday.
And Judge, I told her, my lawyer, we could go ahead and go along with whatever she
Okay, Mr. Renaud,
planned.
Mr. Renaud, I don't want to know what you and your lawyer have talked about. That's private. I don't need to know what you and your lawyer have talked about. But she's asking to
But
withdraw.
I'm saying there's no dispute really.
Just
Well, I've already made a decision and I'm allowing her to withdraw. I will appoint you a new attorney. I suggest you speak with that attorney as quickly as possible. And if
Are y'all going to send me an
there's-
email with their address and phone number and stuff?
yeah, if you give her the phone number, I mean the email, she said.
I have his email. I'm waiting for a phone number.
Yes, ma'am, I'm trying.
Okay.
I don't know nothing about his phone. You got his phone number?
Your Honor, if I may, I was given a phone number originally, and the number I have is area code 806.
That's the number that I have, and he never answered that phone number.
No, that phone's off. It's not,
678.
678.
Is it area code 806?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay. All right. That information about your new attorney will be emailed to you. You all will be here at the courthouse at 12:30 on Thursday, October 17th. We will have this hearing in person. All right. I'll see everybody back then.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
It's the
Thank
only
you.
matter I have outside on.
All right. Thank you.
Hello.
Okay. Okay. We ready to go?
We are on my end, Your Honor. And Your Honor, I'd also announce to the court, Miss Douglas would like me to make a statement on her behalf. However, she has agreed to allow the department to have TMC and work services.
All right. Let me call the case and then we'll just take announcements and then we'll get into all that. We are here today set for our adversary hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We are live streaming and I'm recording to the Zoom cloud since I don't have a court reporter today. So if you need a copy, let us know and we'll make it available. All right, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Trout for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. We're present, ready, Your Honor.
Jerry Morales for respondent Mother Mercy Douglas, Your Honor. She is present. We are ready.
Sorry, Judge, I was looking for my client. Oh, there he is. Bailey Sapien on behalf of respondent. Father, my client is present and we're ready to proceed.
Stacy Zabala on behalf of Axel and Oakley.
Okay, thank you. All right. Mr. Morales is announcing agreement for the department to be named temporary managing conservator. Mr. Morales, we got any other issues involved or?
Yes, Your Honor. After a second discussion with Miss Douglas, she's agreed to have the court name the department temporary managing conservator into work services. There are some issues that she'd like to address in the affidavit. Specifically, she said that she did not have a vehicle for the visits, the doctor's visits that were missed in the beginning of the year. I believe there were 5 that were allegedly missed, aside from the ones in August. So the January, February, April, May, and June visits, she said she didn't have a vehicle. And she said that despite that, she rescheduled every single one of those. She is confident today that if the court orders a hair follicle drug screen, she'll be negative. And that her and Mr. Gruder are separated, and she thinks all those things are going to be positive to her behalf. She is agreeing to this reluctantly because she does feel like the kids are more appropriate with her. And she's probably going to ask for that they be placed with her pretty quickly. And so, but given that, I told her, she needs to make some progress. She's agreed to work her services, so she needs to make progress on that. And hopefully these hair follicles do come back negative. With that being said, Your Honor, she is still in agreement. She just wanted me to kind of let the court know that.
Okay, I appreciate it. And Ms. Douglas, my hope is that this, that you all will look at this. We're trying to help y'all. This is not about punishing you. It's not about punishing the children, certainly. And I understand it's difficult, but I think any of these folks will tell you if parents are cooperative and they really get in there and show me that they're willing to work hard and do what they need to do to make a safe home for their children, I'm always thrilled to send kids home. So, transportation is just kind of one of those things that maybe we can work on and see if we can't find some solutions for you.
I'm sorry to interrupt. When we had gotten a car off Facebook, and the transmission had went. Was it Facebook, hey, or was it from a car lot?
It's probably marketplace. Oh, car lot.
Well, we had gotten a Jeep. We had purchased a Jeep, and the guy that we purchased the Jeep from did not tell us that there was problems with the Jeep. And when we bought the Jeep, not even 3 months into having that Jeep, the transmission had slipped, and it would not even turn over.
Okay.
And my dad co-signed for the vehicle he has now.
Okay, so here, that's just back to what I'm saying. We're here to try to help you guys work through what challenges that life can throw at all of us. And so, I just encourage you to look at this as, we're here to help, and try to see if we can't get you guys on a little bit better footing and a little more stable footing, and hopefully you won't ever be in this position ever again. So, that's what the services will be about. And I will want y'all to drug screen. Have we gotten any current drug screens on either parent? Mr. Trout?
We have, there's one from the beginning investigation with mom. Mr. Reynoso, when was the last drug screen? Right at the beginning?
Yes, and we also, Dad also drug screened the same week of removal.
Okay. So those were the last ones, Judge. If the parents are willing to do, I think those were just UAs. If
Yes, it was.
If parents are willing to do hair follicles, we'd ask for those to be ordered today, Your Honor.
I'm going to order y'all to do both. Just so that we're starting now we'll start, and hopefully your UAs will be negative maybe now, but let's get a hair follicle. If they show positive, okay, we'll deal with that. The important thing is that those levels come down and that we finally get to a point where we have negative screens on the hair. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, don't panic. If it comes back positive, don't panic if you think it's going to come back positive, but let's see where we're at, and so that we can monitor how we're doing. Okay. And if you fail to go for a drug test, y'all need to know, if you fail to go when either I court order you to go or the department or St. Francis requests you to go, I'm going to deem it a positive result if you don't show up. I mean, if you have a problem getting there, let your caseworker know. If you need a ride, let them know. If you are at work or something and you just can't take off that day, let them know. Just whatever you do, don't just not show up. That's the worst thing you
Yes,
can
ma'am.
do.
Me and Hayden will most likely ride together to the drug screening.
Okay. All right. So, let me just ask them, Ms. Sapien, you and your client were in agreement, I know, when we first got together. Is that still the case?
Yes, Judge, we are still in agreement. There is one issue, I believe. My client showed up for his visit on this past Tuesday with the children, or virtual visit, I believe, and the placement was not able to be reached. And so I would ask that he be allowed a makeup visit. But in terms of working services, he is in agreement.
Okay. So St. Francis will take this over. So I would like for them, Dad, to get a makeup visit, or maybe we can just make his next visit twice as long, whatever seems to work best.
Yes,
but I'll kick that. I'm going to kick that to St. Francis, but yes, he will be able to have that makeup visit, Ms. Sapien.
Miss Judge Baker?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. If the drug tests come back negative, what happens then?
Well, we've got other services we want to work with you guys. But no one will be happier about that than me if the drug screens are negative. Because that's, we've got some concerns and some allegations, and that just eliminates a really big concern. Doesn't mean we won't continue to monitor that, and that we won't send you for further drug testing at some point.
Judge, it looks like she may have dropped out.
I think I lost her. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sorry. I think she dropped out right as you were speaking.
Okay. I'll watch for her to come back in, but Mr. Morales, if we don't get her logged in, would you just go over that with her?
Yes, Judge, I will.
That
Absolutely.
we'll monitor that throughout the case, and unless it becomes obvious that drugs are not a problem.
Absolutely.
All right, and then Ms. Zavala, you agreeable to this?
Yes, Your Honor. I do think it's in the kids' best interest. They are placed together in region. Axel is very much behind, but they're working on getting him a walker. I mean, they've gotten him a walker, and they're working on those things. So we're hoping for some slow and steady progress.
Mercy's mom just texted me, said Mercy's phone died.
Okay, it's okay. Just let her know to call her attorney. We're about done, so it's fine. Okay, then I will find that the evidence is sufficient to name the Department of Family and Protective Services as the temporary managing conservator of the children and find that there would be a continuing danger to return the children home at this time. I'll expect St. Francis and the department to use reasonable efforts to reunify the family and to work with these parents and the children. And we will come back for our status hearing on November 5th of 2024. That'll be on a 9:00 docket. Y'all will get a new link for that. And so unless you hear otherwise, it would be by Zoom. So I'll see y'all back then. Between now and then, they're going to talk to you about services and how all of this works. Certainly discuss that with your attorneys. And it's just real important y'all stay in contact with your caseworker and with your attorneys. So, okay, Miss Douglas, you're back in now. You didn't really miss anything. Just our next hearing date is going to be November 5th. So, Mr. Trout.
Drug screens.
Yeah, and I am going to order them both to go do hair and UA. If we can possibly get them done today, that's great. I know it's getting a little late, but because they have to be there by 4. So is Miss Ashley, are you going to be the worker on the case?
Yes.
Okay. I'll let you determine, Miss Ashley, where that needs to be this afternoon or tomorrow, but I'm fine.
As soon as possible as well.
Okay. We'll see if they can get it done and we can get the paperwork and everything for today. If not, it'll be tomorrow. But Miss Ashley will let you all know. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, then I'll see you back November 5th and good luck. Y'all get started on everything and this can all have a good outcome.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank
All right. Thank you very much for your patience. I appreciate everybody working this out.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you for our status hearing today. We're conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We're also live streaming and I'm recording to the Zoom cloud. If anybody needs a copy, let me know and we'll make it available. Okay, we'll take announcements.
Daniel Trout for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Bryza Salinas is my permanency specialist. We're present ready.
Jerry Morales for respondent mother, Mercy Douglas. She is present. We're ready.
Stacy Zabala on behalf of Oakley and Axel.
All right, and Mr. Groder is present, although I haven't seen Miss Sapien yet, but we'll watch for her in the waiting room. Okay. Then what do we have new? Miss Salinas? Morning.
Morning. Bryza, you're still muted. There you go.
Sorry, I was trying to find my unmute button. Sorry.
You're good.
I apologize. The service for the kiddos are doing good in placement. They have been placed in a second placement due to Oakley obtaining fractured tibia. And so that is under investigation now. And so now they're in a second placement. She's doing well. Axel's doing well. They're caught up medically. Axel does have a referral to ECI for PT. And so that is getting started as well.
Both parents you go over service plans with both parents?
Oh, yes. Both of, sorry about that. Mercy is to be doing parenting, counseling, OSAR, a psychosocial, WAVE, drug screens. We ask that she has stable housing, employment, and transportation. She also is doing drug screens. Her last drug screen was on 10/3. It was a UA. She had a positive for marijuana. And on 10/11, she did a hair follicle that was positive for marijuana and cocaine. She does get visitation virtually 1 hour per week on Friday at 6 p.m. And Mercy, updates on Mercy, she has completed her WAVE assessment and she has started parenting classes. And on Hayden, he's doing parenting, counseling, OSAR, psychosocial, BIP, drug screens, as well, stable housing, employment, and transportation. His drug screens were on 10/3 as well. He had a UA positive for marijuana. He had a hair follicle that was positive for marijuana, cocaine, and methamphetamine. His visitations are on Friday as well, virtually. Those are at 7:30 to 8:30 for the 1 hour weekly. Services that he has scheduled are his psychosocial on the 6th of this month. His awaiting calls for his BIP, and his parenting classes is scheduled for December 5th.
And Your Honor, both parents have signed service plans and they have been filed.
All right. Okay, Ms. Morales, do you or your client have any questions today?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay, anything you need to report today?
No, I spoke with Miss Douglas. She's doing very well. She hit the ground running. She's already got 3 of her parenting classes taken care of. She's either signed up or in the process of getting all services started. She's doing really well. So I encourage her to keep doing what she's doing.
Okay, very good. All right, Ms. Sapien?
Nothing for me, Judge, unless Hayden has anything to add or ask.
Okay.
And he said no, so nothing.
All right, Ms. Zavala?
Your Honor, the children are doing really well. They were moved to placements. I don't believe the investigation is finalized yet on that incident, but St. Francis decided, rightfully so, I believe, out of an abundance of caution, to keep them at the second placement, so they won't be returning. But they're doing really, really well. Axel's making some great progress. He's walking on his own, which is a big deal. So he's starting to make up for those things that he was so far behind. But I do recommend that this placement continue.
Yes, I really like the placement as well.
Okay, that's good. That's great. Always happy when everybody's good with where the kiddos are placed. So that's great. All right then. Which child suffered the fracture?
Oakley, my daughter.
Okay. What's the explanation for that? Do we have one?
Yes. Oh, go ahead, Stacey.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You probably have more information than I do, but
okay, Ms. Salinas.
It was reported to us that Axel and Oakley were on the bed with the parents with placement, and he was horseplaying, jumping around sort of in a way, and he landed on her. And so the next day they took her and they found a fracture in her tibia.
Can I put my input on this? I'm so sorry. Miss Christy Ashley, when I had asked her about the fracture, she had changed her story up about 3 times on it. She said that they were horse playing around and Bubba jumped on Sissy, or that they were playing rough with the children with my daughter on the bed. She had changed it up multiple times, so we don't know the exact story.
Well, that's why it's being investigated.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then for today, let me just talk to parents real quickly about your service plans. I know y'all been through those and you've signed them and you're off to a good start. So I am required by law to make sure you understand that failure to work your services could mean the kids don't come home. And worst case scenario, it can mean termination of your parental rights. So we don't ever want to have to terminate parents' rights because they didn't work their service plans. But amazingly, it happens all the time. So you all are off to a good start. Just keep the focus and, reach out to any of these folks if you need help with something, if you've got questions, and be sure you go drug screen when we ask you to, because failure to show up for drug tests can be deemed positive results. So service plans are really important. So you all have any questions about them?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, then I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator, and I will continue the children's current placement. I would find that there's a continuing danger to return the children home today, but it sounds like we're off to a really good start and working in the right direction. I will see you all back on February 25th for our initial permanency hearing. And I'm ordering that those service plans will be in order of the court today. Those are going to actually go into a court order. So it's like any court order. I do expect you to abide by that and to do those things. So, okay. I will see you all back in February, and best of luck to you on all this. And thank you for, getting off to a really, really good start.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Have a blessed day.
Thank you. You all too.
Morning, Judge. Judge, I'm not sure if my client's gonna be want to speak to me ahead of time. I was not able to reach her last week after a few.
I do need to speak to you.
Okay. All right. Let me get y'all in a breakout room. Please just be mindful. We're kind of on a short fuse. We're here on an initial permanency hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom under a good finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. And we are also live streaming, and Ms. Galvan is making our record. All right, we'll take announcements.
Daniel Trout for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Bryza Salinas is my permanency specialist. We're present, ready.
Gary Morales, for respondent mother Mercy Douglas. She is present. We are ready.
Bailey Sapien on behalf of respondent father. My client is present and we're ready.
Casey Zavala on behalf of the children.
Okay. Ms. Salinas, are you going to give us the update today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great.
Axel and Oakley are doing great. They've made such improvements from the time of removal. Their lead levels are gone. Axel's lead levels are really high at initial removal. It delayed his developmental stuff, and so he is taking speech and occupational therapy every week, or every other week, sorry. Physical therapy once a month. He has improved dramatically. He is walking, running. Right now, they're working on helping him go up and down the stairs. His speech was behind as well, which is why he's taking speech. He is now able to express more than 20 words. He's also knows how to sign 10 words. He's super cute when he does it too. He loves cars and balls. He's caught up medically, dental. His favorite things are Wheels on the Bus and the Bubblegum song. He loves just playing along with that. He's doing really well. Oakley as well. She's gained weight. She's improved. She struggled with she was behind as well, not able to crawl or hold her head up when we first got her. She's able to do that. Working on crawling now. She's still not able to have solid foods, but is working on purees, rice cereals, things like that. So they're helping her with that as well. And her occupational therapy and physical therapy are helping her with her movements and getting her to start crawling. That's the update on the kiddos. Parents, Hayden has completed his counseling. Throughout this whole process, he has maintained stable housing, maintained a job, same job. He does need to work on getting his driver's license. He's struggling to get car insurance and get his driver's license because he doesn't have a vehicle right now to go take his driver's license. It is all legal, I get, with insurance, but that's all he's lacking is just the driver's license insurance. He did take his OSAR, and they recommended he do a 16-week outpatient. So he is working on that. He is probably about 2 or 3 weeks in. Last I spoke to him. He did get on probation for the charge that he previously had. And so probation and as well as ourselves were having him do BIP. There was a struggle with BIP at first. And so I got that all settled. So he should be getting called to complete his BIP as well and follow up any recommendations there. He has tested negative. All his UAs are negative. His hair follicle has completely went down on the methamphetamine and the cocaine. His marijuana levels did decrease from 12.6 to 1.1 this last one. So he just has positive for the marijuana of the 1.1. In January is when I sent them for the hair follicle. So he seems to be doing good. He's just waiting his outpatient services to be completed and his BIP. Mercy, mom, she has struggled here and there to get settled, to get on her feet. She was originally with mom. Mercy reported as well that she left mom's due to a physical altercation with her mom. And so she left mom's, went to a friend's home. That friend's home, she was there for a little bit, and she, on New Year's, they got into an altercation. The police were called out. She then asked Mercy to leave the home. And so Mercy left the home, went back to her mom's, stayed there for a little bit, and just recently she occupied a house for herself. So she does have a home for herself. She does live with her boyfriend. She has not completed her TPC. She's needing to regulate her medication. And so she has not done the initial assessment with the doctor yet to be able to get on meds, to be able to regulate her diagnoses and get on her prescription meds. She was asked to do anger management, and she has completed 1 of 2 of those classes. That is self-reported. It's just a 2-day course for her anger management. And she says she's only completed the 1. Counseling, she's about halfway done. She lacks 3. She is doing daily recovery as well. She did complete her OSAR, and they recommended daily recovery. That is through telehealth, and that is a 12-week program, and she is about halfway done with that. She is also supposed to be going to domestic violence support groups, and to my knowledge, she has not started those. And she was arrested on January 24th for a warrant that she had previously had. And so that missed her visitation up. She was arrested on the day that she had visitation with the kids. And those are all my updates on parents and children, Judge.
Okay, she's obviously that warrant. I mean, did she bond out, or is that taken care of, or?
I believe she bonded out. I'll have to double check on that. I think it's bonded out, and I think that's what the warrant was for. She had regionally had a prior charge, and I believe they had that warrant out for her because she missed her bond.
Like a failure to appear?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Morales, anything to add today?
Not much, Your Honor. I was unable to get a hold of my client over the last couple of weeks. She indicated to me that her phone was off, and so her and I will go over the permanency report that I emailed to her last week in detail this afternoon. But she is making some progress, and we've also had some setbacks, obviously. So her and I are going to have to discuss a lot of this stuff in detail and try to make sure that she stays on the right track moving forward. So we have.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Judge, may I ask Ms. Salinas a question real quick?
Sure.
Ms. Salinas, you may have mentioned this. Mom missed drug screens in January. Is that correct?
Oh, she did miss drug screens. I do apologize. Yes, she did. I sent her it was her hair follicle and her UA.
Okay.
And she did miss, and I resent her.
Okay. So she did. She has gone and taken them now?
Yes, her hair follicle is pending. It has been since the 29th, and usually they're back by now, but it is still pending, her hair follicle. Her UA did come back negative, but her hair follicle is still pending.
And you say the 29th. Now, she missed on the 29th, and then you resent it?
That's the day I resent her, was January 29th.
Okay. And so have you checked on that? It's been almost a month. They haven't gotten that
Yes,
back.
I've been checking on it, and it's still pending. And so I need to call the agency and see what's going on with that. She did dye her hair. I don't know if that has anything to do with it as well. So I did talk to her about that as well, and not dyeing her hair.
Would you make a request to the court to order mom not to dye her hair through the pendency of this case?
Yes.
Do you need any drug screens from any parents at this time?
No, they are all caught up with their drug screens and UAs.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Judge. We just make that one request that mom be ordered not to dye hair or bleach hair during the pendency of this case.
Okay. All right, Ms. Zavala. Or sorry, Ms. Sapien. My apologies.
That's all right. Thank you, Judge. I'm happy with the progress Ms. Salinas has talked about for Hayden today, and I hope Hayden just continues on that path. And Hayden, if you need anything, you know I'm here. And that's all I have.
All right, appreciate it. Now, Ms. Zavala.
Your Honor, I've been able to visit with both kids in the home. They are doing really well. Foster placement works with them all the time on motor skills and the things to get them caught up. And I think daycare is actually really helping with that as well. Just interacting with other kids and trying to keep up with them. So there's been huge progress with the kids. My only question was going to be the drug screen for mom, but that was just answered. And so I do recommend that placement continue.
All right, thank you. All right, then I am going to order, really this goes for both parties, but the department requested this as to mom. I'm going to order that mom not alter her hair during the course of the case. And I'm going to continue the department as temporary managing conservator and I'm going to continue the child's placement. I find that there would be a continuing danger to return the child home today, but that parents are working services. So that's good. I find that their progress is sufficient to say that they're in compliance, but you both need to keep, diligently working on all these things.
Yes, ma'am.
And obviously expect St. Francis and the department to continue to use reasonable efforts to reunify the family. Okay, I'll see y'all back for our next review hearing on June 24th of 2025. That'll be on a 9 o'clock docket. So your attorneys will let you know what time exactly you need to log in. Okay, thank y'all very much. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Stacy. So on that, on the Groder case, the one little boy's doing better. I mean, or have we had any more lab results or anything on him?
Starting to, he's significantly behind.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like the doctors think it's going to be a slow process.
Okay.
And I think he's due for another evaluation today or tomorrow, sometime really, really soon, just to recheck.
Okay. Those levels were scary.
Very much so. And actually, I just saw my note on that next medical is October 11th. Okay. So a little bit further on, but they are on top of the medical
review hearing. We are conducting this through Zoom. We're live streaming, and I'm recording to the Zoom cloud. All right, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Trow for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Erica Flores is my primacy specialist. We're present ready.
Brianna Gomez on behalf of Leah Garcia, mother to the children. And I am present on behalf of my client with her authority. Ready.
Stacy Zabala on behalf of Jalen and Ishmael.
Okay, what do we have since the court report was filed?
Both kiddos are doing great. They're up with medical, dental. Ishmael is in daycare and he's doing great. Jalen started pre-K and she's absolutely loving it. But both kiddos are doing amazing. Caregiver does a great job with them.
Ms. Flores, how are things going with mom and placement, visitations, everything going well there?
Yes, everything's going well.
Okay. We're still on plan to get the supplements and packets ready to try to apply for PMC. I mean, PMC with PCA.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I can't remember exactly where was her mark to be able to apply for that.
It depends. So we're going to be going over the packets this month.
Okay.
PCA will probably go in effect probably somewhere in November and then transfer over to PMC to Connie maybe early December.
Okay. All right. And that was kind of the plan along. We had to wait till a certain time frame before we could apply for that.
Yes, sir.
All right. But all of that still seems to be on track.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other issues that need to be addressed with the court, or is everything running fairly smooth?
Yeah, everything's running smoothly.
Okay. Thank you, man. I'll pass witness, Sharon.
Okay. Ms. Gomez, anything to add today?
It's just going to be a little bit of an informal inquiry, so everybody bear with me, please. Sure. But I'm new to this one. I spoke to my client at length yesterday, and I was looking through what I have. I don't have the original documents yet, or they've been misplaced. I'm looking for those. My understanding is that this case has been going on for over a year, and my client is just curious as to kind of what the timeline looks like to get back to normal. Is there something I can report back to her? Or?
My understanding was that they mediated and came to an agreement about giving PMC to placement once all the subsidy and everything is negotiated. And your client, of course, your client has visitation. But my understanding was she agreed to the PMC to this relative.
That is correct, John.
Okay.
So it's really a question, Ms. Gomez, we're really just waiting until placement can get this subsidy negotiated. And then That's supposed to happen sometime in November, and then we'll actually do a PMC order to them in December. Mom would have court ordered access and whatever else was agreed to at mediation.
So the finish line looking somewhere like it's going to be around December
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
for what we've agreed to.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I've got it. I've
And-
got it. Okay.
And Ms. Gomez, if you want to give me a call later, maybe tomorrow, we can discuss and I can kind of catch you up on all this.
Very good. I will do that. Thank you so much. No questions for this witness.
Okay, great. Ms. Zavala?
Your Honor, I've got no questions. I do agree the kids are doing great. And I think it's just a matter of getting all that paperwork done. But I feel good about where they are. I feel like that's in their best interest and looking forward to getting all that wrapped up.
Okay, sounds good. So we have got, our next review hearing isn't set till March 13th. Do you think everything can be done by an agreed order, or do we need to set something on that December?
I think it can be, Your Honor. Since the department has PMC right now, and we're trying to get to a PMC with PCA with the placement. Once that's all negotiated and approved, or however that goes, I will be filing a modification to move over PMC. And so at that point, we could probably do it by agreed if everything's taken care of before then. That is the plan.
Okay, well, if we end up needing a hearing, y'all, you know who to call.
Yes, ma'am.
Not me. Okay, thank you all. And if something happens, then I'll see you March 13th, but hopefully we'll be long done.
Yes,
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, thanks.
Thank
May I
you.
be excused, Judge?
Yes, ma'am. Appreciate it. Zoom. We're live streaming and I'm recording to the Zoom cloud. Okay, we'll take announcements.
Daniel Trout for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Peyton Sim is my permanency specialist. We're present ready.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of Erica.
Melissa Limas with CASA.
All right, then. What do we have new since our court report was filed?
Not much. Since the court report was filed, she is currently still residing in that step bed placement. We keep extending that step bed placement. She does want to continue to stay there. However, with contracting and the placement team, I'm not sure that's something we can do, but we are going to continue trying to do it because she is doing so well there. Since the court report was filed, she's up to date on medical, dental. She's receiving therapy. She's on track to finish her GED program before she turns 18 in November. She has her birth certificate, her social, her state ID. She's got her immunization sheet. I have ordered her a Medicaid card, so she'll have that when she ages out. Really, we're just trying to get that GED finished for her and continue a stable placement until she turns 18.
Any more headway with extended care with her?
No, we had a circle of support meeting with her last month, and she does not seem interested in it. She doesn't want to do it. She doesn't want to do what's required in order for her to be able to stay in extended care. So.
Ms. Sims, as far as
any support? Oh, any support system at all?
So she does have her biological mother, which is who she will be aging out to. They have like a pretty good relationship. I know last month the relationship was off more than it was on, but this could have been due to the move that Erica was going, the changes in her environment and things like that. But she's supported by her mom. I know she still has contact with her grandmother and she's supported by her. There's probably other biological family, such as her great-grandmother. I think she has a godmother, and then she has mentors from previous placements that she was in that she continues to have contact with.
Okay. All right, Mr. Trout.
Ms. Sims, do we know, I know you mentioned the issues with the step bed and trying to keep her. Is she going to be able to stay there till she ages out, or what are we looking at there?
At this time, she is not going to be able to stay there until she ages out. She will have to move to a placement. However, I have let our placement team know that this is something the child wants. It's just up to that step bed contract, that PSA that they send out.
Right.
And I think that when we contacted the step bed after the first 2 weeks were up, that foster mom said that she was not willing to keep Erica until she was 18. However, she has extended that step bed placement twice now. So maybe now that we're getting closer, we can try and get that.
When is it set to be up right now?
Right now, it's set to be up in 14 days from yesterday,
Okay, so she's still
so the
got
16th.
Do we know what the option is if she doesn't extend after this 13 days?
Just finding another placement for her.
Could we do an authorized placement with mom if that's where she's likely going to go anyway?
So while I would love to do that, mom is out of state, and so we can't do that.
If she has to move, are we going to be able to keep her close to where how is her GED program doing? Is she going to a place physically to do it, or is she doing it some kind of virtual way? How is she doing that?
So she's just taking pre-tests online, and then she'll schedule a GED at the very beginning of November to take the test.
Okay. Do we know, I know she ages out at the end of November. If she signs up for it in November, is that test going to be that month, or is it going to be into December? Do we know what the testing schedule is?
The test is, she signed up for the test at the very beginning of the month. However, if she moves, we will have to reschedule that test wherever she moves to.
Okay. All right. And she's aware of all these moving parts that have to kind of stay put till she gets that done, right?
Yes, I have let her know.
Okay.
Is there any other family here in Texas that would be willing to be even unauthorized placement for just those few shorter weeks?
So she does have a paternal grandmother that we have placed her with. However, I'm unsure that she'll be willing to take her back. If we can't get this step bed to work out this next couple of weeks, then I can definitely reach out to her and see if she would be willing to take her back. But I think I would just be worried that last month of care, she would maybe run away, get arrested, not finish her GED. That's just where my concerns are with that placement.
No, I understand. I hear you. Okay, I guess we do the best we can do at getting extended, maybe. All right. Okay, Ms. Zavala.
So I think everything's pretty much been covered. She very much wants to stay there. She seems the most stable she's been in forever. She's very glad to be in a home-like setting. And I know that Peyton's doing everything she can, so I just, we're at 2 months and that GED would be so huge for her to be able to get that. So I'm just crossing my fingers and hope, even if we can just make it to her test, in that beginning of November, or if there's a different step bed in the exact same region, we're so close to the finish line, and it is the best she's done. She does still have one criminal issue pending that I'm trying to follow up on to figure out. Some of the other has been dismissed, but I would hate for us in the last 2 months to run into any other criminal problem. And she's just doing so well. But again, everybody's doing what they can. And I think everybody's on the same page as our hopes and goals for her.
Let me just ask a question. I have no idea what the answer to this would be, but let's say if her stepdad, if that contract expires, if we put her on child watch for a couple of nights, could then she re-up and go back to that stepdad?
That would be a Tippy question. I am not sure how that works.
I mean, could that reset the clock? In other words, it's really all I'm asking.
It's still going to depend and have to be a PSA on it, and they'll end up looking for other places because we'll have to start the whole process again if she comes into child watch.
Yeah.
I just had a thought. If we can get her to the beginning of November, BioMom's in Oklahoma, can we structure that as a less than 30-day visit? I don't know. So just throwing it out there as a possibility.
Is mom a non-offending parent?
No, I believe that mom was an offending parent on the case, but prior to this one. This is the adoptive parent case, but that case, I think she was offending.
So that may not be possible, but that's something we can mull over as we get a little closer, maybe.
I guess that would be my discretion,
Mhm.
whether I would allow the visit.
Yeah, because it's across state lines, you'd have to order it.
Mhm.
So, I mean,
Okay, it's a possibility. I know it's
So-
not ideal, but it's a possibility.
yeah, if we get to the point where that step bed's not renewing, then that may be our option. As long as she's not out of the state more than 30 days, we would be good.
Yeah, November 30th is her birthday.
Yeah. So if her GED is first few days in November or whatever, then my work.
How long does she have in her current placement now, Peyton, before that PSA is out?
13 days.
13.
We're not there. We got to get
No.
through the rest of October.
Yeah,
But
you'd have to get another, almost 2 more extensions, really. Because 13 days, then another 14 is gonna get her to like the 29th. 28th, 29th of the month, so.
Well, and I do think that, if it did come to the point where, when she's in a step bed, if she gets released from this step bed, we could get her into another step bed, but I think they just keep renewing the contract because we don't want to move her to another step bed. We want to move her to a stable placement. But if it comes to it, moving her to another step bed might be a possibility and it might be easier.
yeah. Okay. Well, this is just everybody. I mean, we just did best we can do.
And Judge, I know we've been all kind of just bouncing back and forth. I would like to say that I would like mom to be the very last resort, just considering what occurred during her runaway when she was located with her, and until I know that's where she wants to go and where she probably will go at 18, but so long as she's under our jurisdiction, I do worry about what may occur there. And so I would like that to be the very last resort. And if we can, even if it is just get her in another step bed in the Houston area, I would prefer that very much more than kind of sending her on away to mom a little early. Just, I do worry about what occurred during that runaway. And if that happens again, when she is returned
I understand.
or she goes back.
Yeah. I hear you loud and clear. I really do.
And Peyton, you said this is bio mom that she's wanting to go back to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Just don't want her on the street. So, okay. All right, then I'll continue the department as permanent managing conservator, and I'll continue your current placement and hope we can extend. And yeah, we're scheduled for our next review hearing March 27th of 2025. I guess we'll see where we're at with all this.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, guys. We are here.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a great day.
We're here on a review hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom. We're live streaming, and I'm recording to the Zoom cloud. We don't have a reporter today. All right, then we'll take announcements.
Daniel Trial for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Yolanda Novak is my permanency specialist. We're present, ready, Your Honor.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of Jaden.
Okay. What's new since the court report was filed?
And Judge, just for the record,
Oh,
Jackie
Miss-
Cronin, grandmother, is present with us.
Yeah, she is present. I'm sorry. Okay. Ms. Noah?
Hello, ma'am. Jaden is doing well with grandmother, and she's started high school. He is possibly going to do wrestling in the fall. No football this year. He has also joined the ROTC program, and Jackie, grandmother, is getting all his services set up. He has started counseling with the therapist there. She has had a little bit of trouble with getting him a physical. So I talked to her this morning about getting the Colorado worker maybe to get with her and the doctor to see why they didn't want to see him. She does have insurance on him and Medicaid there. So we're not quite sure why the doctor didn't want to see him for a physical. But overall, he is doing well with grandma. They are working on getting licensed with the state of Colorado to move forward with the adoption. The home study has been requested. They said it could take a couple months for that to be completed. But they're doing well, ma'am.
Okay, great. Ms. Cronin, do you have any questions? You're muted. If you can unmute.
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Anything you need to tell us, or everything going okay?
Yeah, everything's going well. I think I've updated Yolanda. We had his 504 meeting yesterday. So they're leaving that in place for him. He did have a couple of outbursts, one at school, one at home, but nothing terrible. Here at home, he just went to his room and chilled and then came back out and he was fine. At school, he ended up in school detention for the day. Those have been the only two. He is excited to talk to his counselor again today. He's scheduled tonight for that. So he's excited about that and he likes this counselor. So I think we're okay there.
Okay. Sounds good. All right then. Ms. Zavala?
Your Honor, I've got no issues to address today. I continue to be very glad that he is with Jackie and was able to visit with him, and he's doing well. And you know, hopefully the home study won't take as long as anticipated, but sometimes they just do. But I absolutely think this is where he needs to be.
Okay. All right, then I will continue the department as permanent managing conservator, and I'll continue his current placement. And our next review hearing will be March 13th of 2025, and that'll be on a 9 o'clock docket. So hopefully we'll have everything wrapped up by then. Be nice. Okay, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Thank y'all.